This is the 2025 Acura TLX A-Spec, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, we're going to take our final look because 2025 is the final year for the TLX as it is being discontinued. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Acura in Shreveport, Louisiana to go over the particulars on this model. If you come in to buy any new Acura at Acura in Shreveport, it's the only place where you can get the Vehicle Visionary discount. That's $500 off. If you mention that you watched my video on the vehicle you want to purchase, but make sure you say it at the beginning of your deal. Don't wait until the last second. Let's take a look at what we have on this particular model. Urban gray is the exterior color. It's going to have a red interior and a very classic look. Here on the front end, it's Acura, that's for sure. The Jewel Eye LED headlights, the LED daytime running lights, the turn signal indicator is also LED. That's something a lot of people ask about. We'll also find the LED fog lights down here on the lower portion of the front end. And I like that on this lower area down here, you don't find a whole bunch of gloss black. There is a little bit right here, but I like that there's not as much as there could be. I don't like having that because it does tend to show damage a little bit easier than what you're going to find with a matte finish. And we'll find our diamond pentagon grille with the Acura logo right there in the center. And for those that are saying, you know, Tom, I'd really like to buy a mid-size sedan, but I want all-wheel drive. That seems to be a very common thing people ask about with the Honda Accords. All-wheel drive, not an option where that is concerned. But that's going to be what you have here. This is all-wheel drive with the 19-inch wheels. Now these are not gloss black, they have a gloss gray finish, but I think that works very well and it really sets off the exterior color. There's your A-Spec badging and a combination of body color here and gloss black with our side view mirrors, turn signal indicators built in. They're going to be heated and power adjustable. You do have blind spot monitoring here, but it's not built into the side view mirrors. This is your blind spot monitoring indicator. Personally, I prefer that in these side view mirrors. It just seems a little bit easier, or maybe it's just because it's a habit. And you can see everything that you have here with your remote. You have remote start, lock, unlock, you can pop open your trunk, and you have the panic button right there. Nice little remote. Now this model will come with a sunroof, but it is a standard size sunroof. If you want panoramic, that's not here. I do like what we have here on the rear, however, with the gloss black spoiler. It really sets things off, gives it a nice sporty look. We're going to have another A-Spec logo, the Acura logo right there in the center, and our TLX. Already told you this model is all-wheel drive, and we finish things off here with the LED taillights. I do like the balance of the dual exhaust back here. Speaking of that, what is being exhausted? Let's open the hood and we'll talk about what this model has. Under the hood is the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that makes 272 horsepower and 280 pounds-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, something that I think will be a very popular feature among potential buyers because it is not a CVT. How about your MPGs? Let's take a look at the window sticker. We're looking at 21 city, 29 highway, 24 combined, and 4.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. This model has a 15.9 gallon gas tank, and you should be able to drive about 333 miles in the city on a full tank of gas and about 461 miles out on the highway. Not guaranteed numbers, but those are the numbers that are potential. Some of you might get more, some of you might get less. To gain access to your 13.5 cubic feet of cargo space, you can push the button right there on the trunk itself. There's a button on the interior and also a button on the remote. You can lower the rear seats by pulling on the releases right here. I haven't pulled the plastic off of there, but that's what those are for on each side. And you won't find a spare tire here, the only downside. Thought you might want to know about that. I'll give you a quick look at what's under the floor right here. Now you do have the tire repair kit right there. The one thing that I think should be here that most certainly is not. Tell me what your thoughts are. How important is it to have a spare tire when you buy a new vehicle? The armrest and the door bin are large for your rear seat passengers, and we'll find the rear seat pockets right here, a couple of air conditioning vents and USB ports. I know those are two features right here that a lot of people want to check off on their checklist when they're going to buy a new vehicle. Their is the sunroof. As I mentioned, conventional size, it will tilt and slide open, and you have your manual shade that can be put in place when so desired. We have the grab handles at each door, or what we might call the oh crap handles, and we're also going to find the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in. Now, depending on where the front seats are located, there is actually a decent amount of space back here. I do find at 5'10" that my head is somewhat close to the roof line. With or without the hat on, it's going to be close. So you might want to call shotgun or grab the remote, depending on how tall you are, get in the front seat. Definitely some space up there and a lot of adjustability built into these seats. One thing that people ask about also regularly is, does the passenger seat have lumbar support? The driver and the passenger seats power adjustable, and yes, both have lumbar support. And because I know how people in YouTube land are, here is the proof that you have lumbar support on the passenger side seat. And while we're here on the passenger side, I also want to showcase the fact that you have a 12-volt power outlet and plenty of space within the glove box for storage. When you go to hop into the driver's seat, you'll be greeted by the animated graphics and a little bit of music. And there's how everything looks when you start the engine and bring everything to life. The sticker price is $52,195. Let's see what else you get for that price. You'll find your sunglass holder here. Everything for controlling your sunroof and all that good stuff will be up here on this area. That's what this is going to be right here. You can open and close that if you need to, or use the tilt function. You can push that and that will tilt it open and then push it forward to close everything back down, and you can see what else is there. Over here on the driver's side door, we're going to find seat memory. That's going to be right here. A couple of settings for that. We'll also find the settings for the power side view mirrors. Now, you noticed I didn't say they were power folding. They are manually folding, but power adjustable and heated. You can lock and unlock all of the windows right there, and you can also control the windows, door locks, all of that is right there. And you can see there's your power parking brake if you're wondering where that is. That's where that is located. You can drop the lever right here to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. You can see everything for adaptive cruise control and your additional steering wheel mounted controls. Also the shifter paddles for working your way back and forth through that 10-speed automatic transmission if you want to use that feature. Everything for your windshield wipers here. And you control your headlights. You can set those on auto. You can also turn your fog lights on and off right here and use your turn signals. Some of you are saying turn signals. What are those? Well, you can see them working on the likeness of your TLX down there on the driver's display when I turn those on. The brake lights also come on. And when you go into drive, as I just did, it gets down into the ready, set, go position. That's what I like to call it, at least. And depending on your driving mode, you will see some changes with the driver's display. This is going to be comfort, and then we'll have normal. We'll also have sport, which I think is the best looking. And then I'm using the drive mode selector. It says dynamic mode here right above it, but that's the drive mode selector. You can turn that to work your way back and forth through your modes. You also have individual mode, which is right here, and you can go in and configure a lot of different things on the vehicle. You'll also find that the headlights and tail lights come on. Everything is active there on the screen. Just an interesting little feature that you find here with the TLX. Now, and one area that has definitely not been the most popular with most people, there's some people out there who do like the fact that you do not have a touch screen right here. Just so you can see, that is not a touch screen. Everything is controlled via the trackpad right here. So I can work my way through. I can go to phone right there if I want to. And then we have a back button on the pad itself, on the trackpad itself. We can go into navigation if you want to. Yes, navigation is built in. So if you want to use that, you can. There you go. We also have home. You can see all of the features here as far as that goes. There's a lot going on here that you can go through, a lot of different adjustments. We also have our rear view camera. Depending on where you need to see, you can go and see from your different views. Pretty easy to deal with. And all I'm doing is just working my finger around on the trackpad, and when I'm ready to select something, I push down on it. That's simple, very easy to deal with. Tell me if you're that person who likes to have a touchscreen, or maybe you say, you know what, Tom, I actually like what Acura has in the TLX with the lack of a touchscreen. There have been some people who have told me that in the past, so a very interesting thing. Some like it, some don't. Dual zone climate control, you can see that we have ventilated seats and heated seats. We can also turn the auto stop start or idle stop off or on right there, depending on your personal preference. Brake hold, and the push button shifter, something else that people either like or don't like. There's typically no neutral ground where that is concerned. And we'll also find the control for the radio volume right there. You can turn that on and off, the radio on and off, and go back and forth between what you're listening to. Here's your wireless charging pad. And if you're wondering what this is, that's actually to rest your hand on and make it easier to work the trackpad. So depending on what you need to do, that makes things very easy. There's your cup holders. The center console offers some connectivity within as far as USB connectivity goes, and another 12-volt power outlet. Let me open that up for you so you can see that, and a little bit of storage space. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and this may not be the best demonstration, but hopefully my microphone does a good job of picking it up. But you have the Acura ELS Studio 3D Premium Audio with 17 speakers. Yes, there are 17 speakers throughout the interior of this TLX. I don't want to go too long with that, but I know a lot of you like to hear what the radio sounds like, how the audio sounds in these vehicles. So I hope that gives you the sampling that you were looking for. When it comes to driving the TLX, it is very enjoyable to drive. The driver's seat is very comfortable. I like how it has just enough bolstering. At least for me, it's not too much, it's not too little. That way, if I'm taking the corners, having a good time out driving spiritedly, maybe on a day when things are a little stressful, it definitely makes a difference. All-wheel drive give you that extra handling to help out, make it even more enjoyable to take the corners and whatever you're doing out there on the road, give you the best handling possible, a nice tight turning radius, and very responsive steering. Always something that's nice. Not much play in the steering wheel whatsoever. That's always a nice feeling of security when it comes to having that type of handling and the characteristics that this car offers. It's easy to see out of. You do have a lot of great safety features here. And while the technology may be a little bit different from what some people want, it's still not difficult to learn or use. That's always nice to have. And everything is easy to get to as far as the actual controls go. Obviously, you can't reach the screen very well, but you don't need to because it's not a touch screen. And driving in sport mode will give you that little extra burst as far as being able to get down the road a little bit faster when you need to. The RPMs are going to rise a little faster than they will in other driving modes, and that lets you accelerate a little quicker. But overall, definitely a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. One of the things to note here is the fact that this is about to be eliminated. Like I said earlier in the video, this is the last year for the TLX, and that means there will no longer be a mid-size sedan available from Acura. The only Acura sedan available for the 2026 model and moving forward, at least for the foreseeable future, will be the Acura Integra. So tell me what you think about all of that, the changes that are coming. There are some changes, a little bit of a refresh coming to the Integra for the 2026 model year. So we'll see what that brings and what people think. But are you disappointed that Acura is giving the axe to the TLX and the fact that they didn't make some of the changes that I know a lot of you were looking for in the past or hoping for in the future? Obviously, we're not going to see those, but tell me what you think. But I will say this, while they may not be here, those changes may not be here that I know a lot of you were looking for, the TLX is definitely a great option as far as a mid-size sedan. I know a lot of you who watched my Honda Accord videos tell me, Tom, I want all-wheel drive. Not available with the Accord, but you do have all-wheel drive here. But I realize there's a lot of differences between those two models. But for those of you looking for all-wheel drive, this is definitely something to consider if you're looking for a mid-size sedan. Okay, tell me what you think about the 2025 Acura TLX and the fact that it's going to be gone from the lineup after this model year. Are you planning to buy one before you can only buy a used model? Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments section. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Acura for loaning me this TLX for the day so I could tell you all about it, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.